Hello, world. You're listening to Business Podcasting Made Easy on the #1 global business talk and news network on the internet, IBGR, International Business Growth Radio. Welcome to the Influencers Formula, where you get a roadmap to instant authority and thought leadership with a podcast that you're proud of. I'm Donna Cundy, co-founder of the IBGR Network, global radio authority and podcast expert, and the producer of over 14,000 podcasts, which is the inspiration for this series.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. And I am Ben Joya, 3-time international best-selling author. And thanks to this grand adventure with you, I'm also a podcast host and international radio host.
Yay.
Even before all of that, my teachings have been reaching about 50,000 people worldwide, and that's all thanks to leveraging my books. And that's something that we're teaching you to do through this process, whether it's book, podcast, content, etc. Make use of your stuff and keep making use of your stuff, right? So we're your hosts for this 13-week journey. And remember, before we jump into the content for today and for this week, if you want live support from us for your business podcast, then contact us today at ibgr.info. Otherwise, if you want to keep following along with the formula week by week and get your podcast done in as little as 13 weeks, go to influencersformula.com, follow the formula each week, and welcome to the show.
Yes, this is week 9 of 13, your podcast profit playbook, amplifying your unique expertise with written content. We're going to talk about amplifying with your blog and this episode 33. Then we'll come back for episode 34 and talk into amplifying by guest blogging. Episode 35 will be amplifying by posting your blogs and articles on other sites. And then finally, the big one, episode 36, from podcast to a book that positions you as unique expert, authority, or thought leader. And this whole week, this whole hour, these whole 4 episodes is really going to put the spotlight and the feature on none other than Ben Joya, my wonderful co-host here on this one. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Thank you, Don. I'm so glad to be here. And, we're coming into this week on the heels of last week, right? When we looked at repurposing your podcast content into a newsletter, a LinkedIn newsletter, email newsletter, right? Into audiograms, into quotes and memes that position you as an expert, and into direct messages to your ideal clients and strategic partners. So today's episode, as Donna already mentioned, this is amplifying with your blog, and that makes it season 11, episode 33. Thank you very much. Yep, and it goes so quickly. And our friend David Meerman Scott, he says you can buy attention, like advertising. You can beg for attention from the media, like PR. You can bug people one at a time to get attention, like sales. Or you can earn attention by creating something interesting and valuable and then publishing it online for free. So with that, welcome to the show today.
That's really a great quote to set this one up, Ben, because we've talked about a lot of that. And we will be talking about advertising and sales and PR. There's so many moving pieces to all of this. This is why we break it down into small little 13-minute segments of easy to do. The focus on this one, again, is about repurposing your content into a blog. And how many people are blogging these days, or say they want to blog, but then get caught up with, oh gosh, what am I going to write about? Oh goodness, when am I going to find time? Oh gee whiz. and you've already created the content. And so with this episode, you can become a person worth listening to by remembering that each episode show notes, et voila, provide an outline for an individual blog post.
Yeah, that's it right there. And Donna, I appreciate you saying that, because the reminder to all of our listeners, right, that you can create a year's worth of weekly blog posts, AKA a year's worth of newsletters, LinkedIn newsletters, right? Leverage the F out of this as you hear me say this, because I'm sure
you might hear that a few times from us. Hopefully it'll just be F and not the whole thing.
We'll have to get that beep on there as well. Yeah, because you've done most of the heavy lifting already. Go back to the value that you've created, go back to what's most important to your people. And if you remember, one of the great quotes from last week talked about, that basically, people who aren't thinking so much refuse to reuse content, right? Refuse to reuse their brilliance and their goodness already. So don't be one of those people. Keep thinking, right? Keep open to the things that we're teaching you and guiding you and inviting you into, right? And if this is the first time you're joining us, please make sure that you are subscribed and following along with us, following along on the roadmap with us at influencersformula.com. And if you want direct support from us for your business podcast, then contact us today at ibgr.info. Right. So, Donna, what have you been teaching people about, how to get started, right? With one simple step to get started.
Thank you for that, Ben, because as you were talking, what was coming to my mind is what I hear over and over again from the podcasters on IBGR network that I work with. It's this idea that once you've created something, that's it, it's done. And I think because, we talk about international business growth radio, and this idea that radio is a fleeting thing. TV used to be like that too. Remember, you used to only be able to watch a show and no rerun. Maybe they would put reruns on there. But now we're in a world where you can take what you've already created and dust it off, refresh it, maybe add a few words to it and make it just like it's brand new. Because you and I were talking that there used to be that people needed to hear things 7 times. And now it's like, what do you say?
Yes, 7 to 12.
Yeah.
Right? So because you want to give people that opportunity to get to know you, like you, trust you, see you as an authority, give people opportunities to say yes to you in little ways, right? To read your email, to click on a blog post, right? To comment, to like, do those little yeses that lead to the big yes of transformation for them.
And what we're talking about with the playbook, with the Podcast Profit Playbook, is a layered approach to repurposing your content. That, there are people who only listen to podcasts. There are people who only like to surf social media. There are people who only like to read blogs. There are people who only like to watch YouTube videos. You've created all of this content and now can just put it out there into all these different places and find out where you're going to get the most traction there. And so as you're thinking about a blog, you might be thinking, well, do I just go from the roadmap from A to Z, beginning to end, 1 through 52? You could. Or you can take a look at what's the most valuable content for your people right now. I don't think that when we were discussing and creating this show, Ben, the best practices in blog doesn't necessarily mean the same transformation of following this from beginning to end. It's hitting people with what they need right now in this economic condition, in this moment, with your message.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you think about what's the most valuable for your people right now, you may have an indication already about that from the shows that people are downloading and listening to, right? You may have that understanding from serving your clients directly. So we like to say, make it easy and repurpose and leverage, right? So choose one episode and write one blog post based on your show notes. And really important to include regular components, these regular components, like you need a graphic, you want a graphic, right?
And you already did it with your show notes.
Yep. Thank you. And you want to follow, you can, as my grandfather used to say, do whatever the hell you want, right? But what an easy way to do it, we think, is follow the show notes framework, right? The hook, the why, the what, all of that good stuff, right? And also add an invitation to engage with you with some kind of hyperlink, right? Read the rest of the blog here, go download the thing over here, whatever that is. And especially because it's your blog post, and when we're talking about your blog post, this is on your blog, right? So make sure your bio is at the bottom of that page, right? You might have it as a, kind of regularly occurring footer content that's coming up on every blog post. If you don't have that in there, make sure you paste your bio at the bottom, and in your bio, put a hyperlink to the show, right? Because you never know where people are going to take that next step, right? So there's two things you got to do there. One is give them opportunities to take the next steps. And the other one is to tell people, right? Go here, find out more, download the thing. Because, yes, we want to assume that people are smart enough to take action, and they are, right? But people are also so busy. So if you just say to them, hey, go do the thing, be like, oh, okay, right. Yeah, I'll go do the thing.
Yeah, making it, nothing drives me more crazy than me wanting more information and having to search really hard to find it. Just make it really easy.
Exactly. I mean, people will abandon at that point, right? If
I'm one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, human nature, right? It's human nature, and also, on the world of the internet and all that kind of stuff. So as we invite you every week, and every single episode, every 13 minutes of our time together, take action, right? So like we said, choose an episode, write a blog, and post it to your website. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Super easy.
Yep. Break the seal.
Yes. And again, if you want some direct support, you're not quite sure what we're saying with the show notes, how do you build it out? How do you do any type of direct support for your business podcast or your podcast profit playbook? Contact us at ibgr.info. Always happy to jump on a quick Zoom, a quick call, and get those questions and give that support for you, because it is a multiplier out there into the world for our purpose, and that is to make an impact into the lives of others, and especially in the business area. So say again.
Just absolutely. I mean, people, right? Part of people saying yes to you, we've said this often, is that they need to see you as an authority.
Yeah.
So part of expressing yourself as an authority is putting content out there and making it available for people.
Absolutely. And this ends episode 33, just like that. Amplify with your blog on the IBGR network. I'm Donna Cundy.
And I'm Ben Joya. Listen for what's coming up next.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.